Thank you for joining us live, and for those that are watching the recording, thank you for joining us. I'm Chud Wendell, Executive Director of Hutton Settlement. 2020, what a year. It's been a test on all of us. And I'm going to tell you, though, it's a great opportunity for us here. We've had an opportunity to grow, to thrive, to take this adversity on in 2020, and you're going to see a little bit tonight on how we've done that. But our biggest reason why is you, our community, our support that we've received this year has been unbelievable. Last year was our centennial year. We celebrated 100 years. This year being 101 years of providing hope, opportunity, and life to children and family in our community. One example of the support that we've received from last year is what we're standing in. It's our kitchen. Last year we had the opportunity to go and make an appeal to the community and seek a capital campaign to update and renovate our cottages. Tonight we're standing in a kitchen that has been renovated. Walt and Karen Worthy stepped up in a major way last year to update and renovate 4 cottages. We have finished 2 of the 4, and we're into the 3rd right now. But they included updating rooms, putting air conditioning in, bathrooms. We increased the number of rooms in each cottage, and tonight you're going to see the kitchen. And you're going to see the kitchen in use, and we're in for some excitement. So from the bottom of our hearts, the board of directors, our staff, and our children, and you're going to meet a couple of these superstars here tonight, thank you to Walt and Karen Worthy. So with that, what I'm going to do is introduce this guy here next to me on my left, my mask, I'm sorry, keep sliding down, is what I call a brother from another mother. It's a campus director. He's the one that makes us go out here. He's what is behind tonight in this culinary art that you're going to be seeing, and that's David Milliken, our campus director from Hutton Settlement.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, so, I'm super excited that we got a couple of young people here who are going to be able to share in this wonderful preparation and meal. As many know, the Hutton Settlement kids attend public schools at the West Valley School District. And what we do here on campus is actually provide an extended education opportunity for all of our kids. And the signature program that we have is called Salute, which is a sustainability and leadership program. And the intention behind that program is to really work with our kids in developing active, engaged citizens, both locally and globally. So some of the things that we do as part of that program include outdoor learning. And during this past year, we've been able to go out in the wilderness. We have naturalist education. The kids actually gathered together and we built a yurt up in the forest for a learning center. We also do a lot of community service. And this past year has been centered around food justice. Many of our kids have gone down to the West Central neighborhood, downtown area to provide beverages and meals for those who are dealing with food insecurities. And then, of course, we have our growing and emerging garden and farm program. And so what you're going to see here today are some ingredients that actually came out of the farm. We had a lot of time on our hands over the last 8 months or so being here on campus, and it has been so encouraging to see these young people rally around this idea of growing a farm. And the idea here is that we are bringing good, healthy, nutritious food to our tables, but also sharing that abundance with people in the community. So what did we do this past year? Well, we ended up planting an herbal tea garden on the west side of campus and developed a tea room. So we have actually a tea club. We built a large north garden where we have now planted some ingredients that will be provided for our cottage tables and kitchens. We also planted an orchard of a number of hazelnut trees and cider apples and all sorts of other fruits that will be available to us. So it's a growing operation here. The farm was central to Levi Hutton's dream, and it's great to see it come back. So our education programs will continue to grow and emerge, and it's just been such a blessing to see these kids be a part of that, as well as our staff. Chud?
Thanks, David. So it is our honor to be here tonight, and I'm going to introduce our cooking team. So this is our inaugural event, and we have our inaugural cooking team here. And I'm going to start with the center of it, and that is our Hutton children. First up is Ryas. Ryas looks like a senior in college, but he's actually a ninth grader at West Valley High School. Bryce is passionate about cooking. We're going to learn a little bit from you tonight, okay? And is involved in many of our clubs that David talked about. The next one is Sella. Okay, Sella. Sella is a 7th grader at Centennial. She thinks she's funny, and she is funny. She loves anything that keeps her busy. She's involved with everything on campus, and she keeps me laughing. And now over to, I call her Miss Spokane. She's our Miss Official Spokane. She knows how to do a handstand like anybody else. And that's Nadine Burgess. Nadine is really, truly the cheerleader and probably the horsepower behind the event tonight. Nadine is owner of Spokane Gymnastics. She's a culinary expert and supporter of many local nonprofits. Nadine will be helping in the kitchen and making sure, cheering us on as we go. And then Mr. Spokane himself, and I call him the funniest guy, or at least he thinks he's the funniest guy of Spokane. He's our community favorite, former radio, TV personality, the original boy of the Breakfast Boys, and a great friend of Hutton, Mark Patrick. Mark will serve as our kitchen assistant. I love calling him the assistant. Kitchen assistant and MC this evening. And then the guy that really is teaching us what's going on here over the stove and on the counter, the preparation and so forth, is Chef Travis Dickinson. It's a pleasure to have you here tonight, Travis. Travis is a local chef, owner of Cochinito, and former executive chef at Clover, as he is involved in many community affairs. Thank you for having a heart for the kids and being here tonight at Hutton. So without any more, I know you're ready to cut me off, I'm going to turn it over to our MC and to our chef. Here's Mark.
All right, well, let's get cooking, right?
Yeah,
I think I'm all wired up and we're good to go, I think.
Perfect.
I want to extend a welcome to everybody who's watching live, and if you're recording this, this is just going to be a blast. We're going to let Travis go and teach us what in the world to do with all this phenomenal food that was grown here at Hutton. And I just want to back up what Chud said. Thank you to Walt and Karen Worthy. I walked in and immediately was stunned at this kitchen. It is just gorgeous. And my favorite part is the community bar that you probably can't see on TV, but I was told they just line up stools and all the kids hang out pretty much all day here, so pretty cool. Travis, you ready to get rolling?
I think so. I think Stella's in charge, actually.
Yeah, that's right. My bad. Stella's going to be cooking.
All right. Well, we did a fun menu tonight, and we kind of focused on things that are grown here on the Hutton Settlement. Obviously, summer took a quick turn into winter this year, so some of this stuff isn't currently growing, but we were able to harvest the last of some things. And we kind of focused on doing some pretty quick, easy stuff that you can follow along with at home and hopefully make happen and get the family fed. So we're going to do a nice little salad of chicories, some kind of bitter Radicchio and Belgian Endive. It's a green goddess salad dressing, real easy yogurt-based dressing, bunch of herbs right off the property here, some lemon, some salt. Then we're going to do a little braised chicken dish, so they're braised chicken thighs and some tomatoes. We've got some nice San Marzanos that they pulled off the garden here, braised down with some fennel, some carrots, some onions, a little bit of wine, lemon, and olive, and we'll serve those over some just easy roasted potatoes. So can kind of start getting it together. We'll work in stages and have all these guys help me out, and we'll get rolling here. So I think first thing, I'm going to start cutting up some potatoes. I'll rub them in a bit of oil, a little bit of garlic, salt, and pepper, and just get them in the oven. It's pretty basic, and I think while I'm going, if a couple of you guys want to take some of those leaves off the herbs there, get all those the herbs off their stems, some nice leaves, and we'll start chopping those up. We'll make the dressing once we get the chicken and all that into the pan here. So I'll start on some potatoes if you guys want to start sharing herb duty.
The high school with herb duty. Right. He's a nice guy.
Good guy, I heard.
Yeah, Herb's a good guy. All right, so do you know what you're doing when it comes to tearing leaves off stems?
No.
It's pretty difficult. I think you take the leaf off the stem, like so. Perfect. Just throw it up there. You got it. All right, that's pretty good to me.
Nice.
I think he's just thinking, I'm hungry. when is this done so we can
Ready to
actually
eat already, huh?
I appreciate that.
We'll have some stuff within the hour here for you.
There you go. What are the herbs that we're chopping away on here?
We've got equal parts of basil, mint, tarragon, oregano, and dill in there.
Oh, you can totally smell it, can't you? You don't have to whisper. No, don't whisper.
Really, any mix of fresh herbs will work, but these ones seem to be kind of all those, soft summery herbs, so we went with that as a base.
Very cool.
Potatoes, we're just kind of taking into wedges and getting a nice little kind of a half-inch thick triangular cut on them. We're going to kind of smash these up when they're done cooking, so they really don't need to be perfect.
And a lot of this came right off of Hutton Settlement, right?
Yeah, a lot of this did. The tomatoes did, some of the herbs did. We have things like sunflower seeds, which are actually grown here, but...
I don't believe the Riesling came directly off of Hutton Settlement. I just want to make that perfectly clear. Although, give David another year, they'll probably have a winery out here, too.
have their own label, yeah.
It'll be a hazelnut wine filled with basil and mint. I don't know.
Some of that fresh tea, right?
I've learned one thing about David. He just does everything. So come off the farm either. This is a PETA-friendly meal tonight. Although I do understand we do have chickens. Is that right, David? Yep, we've got chickens.
And ducks, I hear.
And ducks. But we're not eating the animals tonight.
Not tonight.
Nothing that's been named.
What's
so-
that?
Nothing that's been named.
Nothing. Yeah, if
Nothing
the animal
gets
has a
named,
name,
right?
it gets to live, which is great.
So in potato land here, we've got an oven turned on to 350 degrees if you're following along at home. Just a really healthy splash of olive oil on there. I'm going to hit them with a touch of salt.
And Travis, you threw a little olive oil in here
A
before
little
you
olive oil
started?
in the pan. That'll be for the
Nah.
chicken in just a quick minute here. Yep.
Okay, perfect.
A little salt. A little bit of fresh garlic.
Here. So, here's the salt, just spray it on.
There you go.
Just
Salt me up.
look at that. Look at that. You're a gourmet chef, just like that.
And a touch of pepper.
Salty.
Now we're hopeful that people are not just watching as we're doing all this, but they're actually cooking alongside us, right? That's the objective here. Whether you're
Yeah.
watching on YouTube or Facebook, hop on in and cook with us.
So a little lid on our potatoes here, and we will just toss those in. These are going to take just about the entirety of our segment, about 40 minutes till they're nice and soft.
Okay.
So we'll just forget about those guys for a little while and get back to business here.
Super.
Perfect. Well, while these guys are working herbs, I'm going to keep going on kind of a chicken preparation stuff. So as far as the base of the chicken dish, we've got onion, we've got fennel, we've got carrots. And we're just going to get a nice kind of julienne cut on all of that stuff. The fennel will take the core out of. Just kind of cut that woody part right out of the center there.
Ooh, that smells like onion.
And just give them a nice slice through to the base. Really important, we're going to kind of try and keep everything about the same size, the same shape with the onions, the carrots, and the fennel, since those are all going to go in the pan at the same time, and we want them to cook fairly evenly. But all in all, this is a pretty forgiving dish, so nothing too major to worry about there. So we're going to go with a whole head of fennel, one whole onion, and about a half pound of carrots in here. As I'm prepping stuff, I'm just keep it in a nice bowl all ready to go.
Okay.
Since these are all going in the pan together, we can just sort of mix them up in that bowl for now. How you guys doing over there?
Pretty good.
I think we're coming along pretty well. Hey, I want to make a couple of quick points. If you're worried about the recipe and you can't watch your screen or whatever, you can download it on the website, as I recall. You just go to huttonsettlement.org. Look for the recipe tonight. I don't know what we're calling this. I know it's a... Do you know what
This
the
is
recipe
a
is called?
braised chicken dish, yeah. So it's a braised chicken thigh with olives and tomatoes.
Braised chicken dish, and we will have that recipe for you. So if you want to cook it at another time, not live with us, you just find that recipe at huttonsettlement.org.
It's kind of fun for me. Our restaurant's very taco focused, so this is kind of getting back to my Mediterranean restaurant
Yeah,
roots
there
from
you go.
back in the day, breaking up the monotony a little. Nothing on a tortilla tonight. Anybody want to take a crack at dicing up some tomatoes for me over there?
You guys ready to cut up some tomatoes?
Perfect. Let's maybe move all of that stuff onto one board, and maybe Rice can kind of chop those up into nice little small bits. You don't have to be perfect, 'cause it's all going in a blender. We just want them all kind of even so that they blend up evenly.
Rice, you want to take a run at the tomatoes? Sure. Right on, bud.
So just looking for about a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch dice. So kind of if you just quarter the tomato even. I'll run you through one real quick and we can do it together. So if you just kind of quarter it long ways here, and then just take them down that way, that'd be perfect.
I'll be perfectly honest with you, Rice. I had no idea what he was talking about on quartering the tomatoes, so don't feel at all.
He's got it. He's a
Yeah,
resident
I-
culinary
I-
expert. I
I've
heard
heard
he's
of drawing quarter, but I didn't think that was the same thing, so this is good. Look at that. Like a pro.
very good.
Excellente.
All nice sharpen your knives over there too.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm going to go about the same size and shape on these carrots here.
Travis, how long have you been a chef?
Too long. I'd give away my age. We were just doing the math. It's been about 25 years since I
Oh
started
my gosh.
washing dishes at 15 years old, and I've sort of gone from there. So
Yeah.
I don't know what else I could figure out how to do at this point. I think I'm stuck.
Yeah. What do you think, Stella? I heard you say you might not want to be a chef necessarily. I heard you say you might want to be a veterinarian. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
How come you want to be a veterinarian?
Because I like animals.
That's a good reason, right out of the chute. And what do you think you need to do to become a veterinarian? I mean, that's a lot of work, right?
Be sweet to people.
Love that. That's number one. Got to be sweet.
I don't know what else.
Well, I think loving animals.
Yeah.
What's your favorite animal?
A dog.
Oh, sweet. Me too. Do you have any favorite dog or just kind of dogs in general?
I would say huskies.
Oh, see, now that was the wrong answer, Chud. She said huskies.
Sorry.
Oh, no. See, some of us like cougars. Washington State. I'm teasing. The Huskies are from the University of Washington.
I like huskies.
Okay, you can like huskies. I know huskies I like. Chud's one of them. No, I'm just teasing you. So you like the bigger dogs?
Yeah.
Sweet. And have you ever petted a husky before? Cool. They're really soft, aren't they? They look like they're going to be kind of like they're going to poke your fingers with all that fur, but then you get in there and they're really soft. Sweet.
What's your favorite dog?
My favorite dog is the dog that I have two dogs. So I have one that's a yellow lab.
Ooh.
That's Maggie. And then I have one that's we named Cooper. And if you ask me what kind of dog Cooper is, I'd say he's a goofy dog. He's just a whole bunch of dogs in one. But I love him. So there we go.
One of those good mixes.
He's a good mix, yeah.
All right, so we have bone-in chicken thighs.
Okay.
Just giving a nice little rub of salt and pepper. You can really use any chicken part for this dish. The full leg works well. Breast would work fine. I like thighs when you're doing a longer cooking. They're a little more forgiving. They don't dry out like a breast. So this is going to work out pretty nicely for us.
Okay.
Here, so why don't you take a crank of that pepper grinder? You
Yeah,
look
here
like
we
you're
go.
so good with the salt. Let's see how you do with pepper.
Oh my gosh, she's a pro. You may have to
Better than
rethink
me
this
already.
veterinary thing and get into cooking, so look at you go. That is perfect. Nope, I'm going to be a vet, doggone it. Atta girl.
That's perfect. I think we can get these guys in a pan.
Sweet.
So we've got a nice pot behind us, straight-sided pot, a little deep, works really well. I've got it heating up with just a little bit extra virgin olive oil in there, just enough to kind of slick the bottom of the pan. And we're going to get these guys rolling in here. We'll start skin side down. The trick is we want to get that skin nice and crispy and browned first. The rest of the cooking is really going to happen with all the stock and the juice and everything else in there. But getting a little color on it, it's going to really add to the flavor. We'll figure-
Skin side down, you said. Just want to remind
Yep, skin
everybody.
side down. All the fat in the chicken's actually in the skin, so that's going to render some of that out, get it nice and brown. That fat's going to be a lot of the flavor in our dish here, too.
All right.
We'll get all those in there, not too overcrowded, just enough to give them some room to go.
Okay.
What?
You want to take a look at it? Yeah, that's hot. Cool. All right.
Very good. All right, Nadine, do you
Those
want to maybe give
tomatoes.
these herbs kind of a rough chop for us, and we'll get ready to put those in the pan once the chicken gets going.
You know how to do it?
How do you want me to do it?
So just kind of take some here. Might need to get your bigger cutting board. Just keep your fingers away, but just kind of roughly chop them up like that. Like I said, they're going to go in this blender. They don't need to be perfect. But just kind of get them all a little smaller than they are so they don't turn into giant pieces in there.
There you go.
So just keeping your fingers tucked under.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good job keeping those knuckles back.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
He's got it.
I've got cooks that have been doing this for 10 years that I have to teach that technique to, you know?
Beautiful.
There it is.
Nicely done.
Here, I'll give you one more technique on this. So let's just get this guy, keep a nice flat hand on top of it, and then just start kind of rolling over it like that.
Ah. That looks like you could cut it, a little bit more strength, and you got your fingers out of the way.
You want to give it a little bit of a roll so you're not pressing down, but yeah.
Okay. All right,
Fingers
Sal,
out of the
let's see
way,
what
nice
you got.
flat hand on there.
Oh, look at that. She's doing the roll.
Yeah?
Good and
She's
safe.
doing the roll.
Good and ready to go. If you want to throw those back in the boat rest, we'll get those ready to go in the pot here in a second. We're just getting a bit more color on these guys.
Nice.
It's a nice towel to clean up that board with when you're done. I'll take these guys back over here.
Man, that smells good. You
Yeah.
can just smell the herbs coming out of there.
All right. Next job for you here, sir. Let's take these guys, cut them in half. This is Belgian endive, also known as whitloof chicory. It's a cool little vegetable. They actually grow these in a dark room, so it makes this this little head of cabbage think it's always trying to break the surface of the soil. So it keeps growing up into this neat little football shape instead of branching out. It's just like constantly trying to struggle for light.
That's these guys right here?
Yeah,
Oh, that's kind of cool. They literally grow them in a dark room.
yeah.
Oh,
So we'll just kind of like the tomatoes, take them into quarters like that, and then just a little more thick of a cut here. And we'll toss those all in our big bowl for the greens. And if you can get these guys in about the same size, but we'll take the cores out of those.
All right, let's see what you got. Nice. You like to cook? Yeah, you can tell. You know what you're doing. You're handling a knife pretty darn well.
I heard you've been making pizza out here.
Oh, you guys make pizza?
Yeah, we have like a brick fire oven.
Oh, sweet.
What's the best topping combination
I was
so
just
far?
going to ask that, yeah.
I like everything, you know.
Everything?
Anchovies?
I'm not really a fish guy. I want like all that kind of thing.
Everything that doesn't swim.
I'm with you on that one. Do you guys have a pizza party out here once in a while?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
How big is this wood-fired oven?
Oh, it's a decent size.
Yeah.
Get one pizza at a time, two pizzas at a time?
We could get like 3, I think.
Oh my God.
Why are we having pizza?
Yeah.
Yeah, good
Somebody
point.
should have told me about this pizza oven.
Yeah,
We'd be doing this all different.
Stop.
Yeah.
Let's go have pizza.
Braised
Oh, wow.
chicken pizza.
There we go.
All right, so now that we've got a nice little bit of color on here,
Yeah.
let's hold the face this way so the camera can see me. We'll pull those guys out, let them just kind of hang out for a minute, and we'll get the rest of the stuff going in here.
All right.
So we've got our mixture of the onions, the carrots, and the fennel. I'm just going to let that all get in there and get a little bit soft. Kind of at every step of everything, we're just going to get a little bit of salt. And right about now, I'll give it a touch of chili flake.
Sal is my salt girl. Ready? Do it again. Oh, like a pro.
You can't do the
Like a
off the elbow
pro.
trick like that guy on
So
YouTube.
perfect.
And a little bit of garlic in there.
Right on. All right, so we have fennel, onions, carrots. We had chili peppers, if I saw right.
A little chili flake and a little bit of
All right.
garlic.
Yeah, nice.
Just in that olive oil.
And salt.
And
Don't
salt.
forget Stella's salt.
Perfectly salted by
Yep.
Sala. We're going to let this kind of cook down, get a little bit soft.
And we're actually using the same olive oil, so we're getting a little bit of the
Same
chicken
oil,
flavor in
got
there.
that chicken fat in there. Everything's
I like
supposed
it.
to just be in this one pot, so you never lose any of it.
Perfect.
We'll switch this off to high. I was kind of searing that chicken on more of a medium high. Now we can just kind of let it rip. Everything else that goes in here is going to need to come up to a boil at one point anyway.
Okay.
He's doing great on that over there. I'm going to kind of help him with some radicchio, so we're ready to move into salad world once our chicken gets doing its thing.
So this is going to be for the salad. This is going to be for the salad?
Yep, all this
All right,
is for
and
the
all- and
salad.
what
All the
about
herbs
this?
are for the salad dressing.
Does that scare you a little bit?
No.
Okay, good. Love it.
Would you rather have sweets or vegetables?
Would I rather have sweets or vegetables?
Yeah.
That's a really good question. I gotta be honest, I want to say vegetables, but I think I'd rather have sweets. How about you?
Vegetables?
Not a girl. What's your favorite vegetable? Husky?
No.
Oh,
Carrots. are
I love
for
carrots.
vegetables.
I love carrots. Do you like carrots just by themselves, or do you want them like with the garlic?
Like with ranch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about peanut butter?
Ew.
Oh, I'm not kidding. You never tried a carrot with peanut butter?
No.
Oh, it's pretty good.
That sounds really gross.
I know, but try this. Carrots, peanut butter, and then you sprinkle raisins on them.
Ants on a
I'm
log.
not making that. Yeah, it's pretty much ants on a log. It's just like the celery with peanut. You never had this?
No.
Oh, you got to try it. Reyes, have you had it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like it?
That's pretty good.
See there. It's Reyes. Did I say Reyes?
Yes.
I knew I was going to do that. Sorry, Reyes.
All right, I'm gonna throw some tomatoes in the spot now that we've got a nice little soft vegetable mix.
Very good.
You'll want to kind of cook the juice out of that for just a second.
All right. All right, we're rolling.
Did you have that microplane that was sitting over there?
So Travis, how do you remember how, I mean, you got this recipe buried in your brain somewhere, or do you just kind of
Yeah, this is one I kind of do at home as just, you know, an easy to put together one pot type of meal.
Yeah.
Really, I cheat on this stuff a lot where I get it to this point, sear it off, do my vegetables, and just dump it all in a crock pot and go do something. I mean, I have a 2-year-old at home, so anything that I can just let go while I'm entertaining her, doing yard work, whatever it takes, is
Sure.
kind of the way of the world these days. So once we see some juice coming out of those tomatoes, we are going to add 1 cup of white wine. You can also use cooking sherry, which I did with this the other night.
Okay.
Just a little different flavor, less acidic, a little more nutty. I've done it with marsala. I mean, really, anything you have around, it doesn't even necessarily need to be alcohol. If that's not your thing, you could just go straight into some extra chicken stock. But I do like the acid that the white wine brings to the dish.
Okay.
We'll just let that get up to a boil, kind of cook off some of that alcohol a little bit, take some of that, you know, that burn out of the flavor of it.
Yeah.
And then we're going to add the same amount of chicken stock right
Okay.
back in there. So about a cup on the chicken stock as well. We'll throw in our olives at this point.
So you're doing a little bit of green and black olive mix?
Yeah, we did Kalamata, Castelvetrano, and a straight black olive. Whatever
Okay.
you have, just take the pits out, quarter them, and let them go.
You're not going to be too picky on what olives I use on this thing?
No, I mean, the
Okay.
Kalamatas, again, add a nice acid and a little kind of that funky olive flavor. The Castelvetranos are a nice buttery green olive, so
Yep.
kind of a mix of flavors in there, but
Okay. And then goes the chicken.
in goes the chicken.
Sweet.
We're going to want to bury that just a little bit in the juice. I like to kind of leave that skin exposed so it doesn't sog up too much. Keep a touch of that crispiness if you can. And we're just going to drop a lid on this, bring it down to a simmer, and let it go for about 15 to 20 minutes here. We'll give it a quick check.
Nice.
We'll check it periodically just to make sure all that liquid isn't cooking out. If it does, gets too dry, you can add a little more chicken stock back in there.
All right.
Whatever you need to do.
So for those of you cooking at home, we're just basically covered this up. We're just going to let it sit. You said for how long? About 15
About
minutes?
15 minutes, I'll start checking it.
Okay.
We'll check it either with the thermometer, or you can go old school, just kind of pull the meat away from the bone and make sure it's fully cooked in the middle.
Perfect.
Again, chicken thigh is pretty forgiving, so going a little longer on this is probably safer than pulling it out a bit too early. You want it kind of shreddable by the time you're ready to eat it.
Okay.
All right, let's make some dressing and get a salad going, and then we'll kind of come back to chicken and potatoes and go from there.
Sounds good.
Easiest dressing in the world. This is a quick play on a green goddess, a really herb-heavy salad dressing. We use non-fat Greek yogurt, keep it a little healthier. This is a good substitute for that ranch with your carrots too, probably a little better for you. So let's build this. Have you ever zested a lemon before?
No.
All right, this will be fun. So this guy's like a little file. This is a Microplane Zester. All you're gonna do is watch your fingers, but just gently run that guy over it until it's all the bright yellow stuff's gone. We use a lot of citrus at the restaurant. Almost everything that we use both the zest and the juice. You know, there's just a ton of flavor, a ton of essential oil in that lemon zest.
I think that's a mistake a lot of people make, is
Yeah.
they think the fruit is inside the peel and they forget about the outside, and there's some really good flavor in the
Exactly,
outside.
yeah, and it's a totally different flavor. You get all that
Doing great.
actual flavor without the acid of it.
It's really interesting. I've come out here before, and Chud will just grab a lemon and just take a bite right out of the peel. Just eat the whole thing.
Wild
It's
man.
odd. I'm not going to lie. It's strange, but he does it. That's not true, by the way. So
I thought we were going to call him on camera to see that.
yeah, yeah.
Excellent.
Hey, we want to thank everybody who signed up early for this, so pre-registered, and I know most everybody who pre-registered also gave to Hutton Settlement, so we just wanted to say a big shout out, thank you. If you're watching this right now and you hadn't pre-registered and you're thinking to yourself, this is fun and everything, but what I really wanted to do was write a healthy check to Hutton Settlement, we'll take that. It's cool, you can do that. just go to the website, huttonsettlement.org, and there's a spot on there to both pull the recipe like I talked about earlier. There's also a spot for you to give to this phenomenal organization. So you want to help these kids out and help Hutton Settlement, which is like the coolest thing about Spokane. Please go do that.
All right, I think you're in good shape there, so I'll take the lemon from you, and you just give this guy a little knock on the rim there to get all that extra zest out.
Well done.
Then we'll get the fun part of it, toss the juice in there. Since I forgot to bring a juicer, we're just going to hand squeeze this right through this nice little sieve here. Hey,
Whoop.
you're supposed to catch that. We talked about that beforehand.
No, we didn't.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I forgot to tell you. All right. Then we're going to go in with our Greek yogurt. This is 2 cups Greek yogurt. This is going to make way more dressing than we need, but this stuff lasts for a good week in the fridge, so better to have more than less. I've got 4 roasted garlic cloves. You can buy pre-roasted ones at the store. I keep a lot of these in the fridge. All I do is take a little olive oil up to a simmer, started cold with the garlic cloves right in it. Bring it up till they're nice and gold brown, take them off and just stick them in the fridge in that oil. They last for like a week, and they're great to have around for your morning eggs and whatnot.
That's a great idea. Uh-oh, you got hit. She got hit with yogurt.
A little bit of Aleppo chili. If you can't find Aleppo, you can just use some more of those chili flakes. You can use black pepper, little white pepper, whatever. This is about a half teaspoon of the Aleppo, though. Just a nice Spanish chili in there. Touch more salt. And then let's throw all those herbs in there.
You know what I love about this, Travis, and the way you're approaching it is, I feel it's easy to get intimidated when you're in a kitchen. And especially when you're not doing a ton of cooking and you're listening to a master chef like you and you get a little stressed out. What I'm loving about this is you're like, maybe use this instead. Don't worry about that too much. This will all work out in the end, because at the end, this thing's all going to come together with a few little wrinkles in it, right?
It's nice to do big, fancy plated dinners at the restaurant or whatever, but this is cooking at home. Oftentimes, we're going through the cabinets and seeing what we have and making do with what's there and not trying to go to the store. And we also tried to pick some stuff tonight that was forgiving, super easy, stuff that lasts in the fridge. I mean, things that make sense to do at home.
Yeah, now, usually when I'm cooking, I'm paying more attention to the football game or the baseball game that I have on TV than I am the actual food. So again, loving this. Totally. I can make all kinds of mistakes and it's still going to come out pretty
Cooking
good.
at home, I've got a toddler on one leg, a dog under the other. It's tough stuff.
Right on.
So we'll give this a nice little pulse in here. Just enough to break up those herbs a bit. This Greek yogurt will break if you just whip it too hard in here, so really don't go far. Just keep it on low, get it nice and green. And we're good to go. That's a salad dressing. Easy as that.
And that's it?
Did I get you again?
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah.
All right. So with the salad, aside from the chicories that we put in there, we tried to pick some fruit that was growing out here. So we've got some apples. We did get one nice store-bought red apple, but some of these really cool apples that were also grown at Hutton here. Cool. So we're going to throw those in our bowl for our salad as well. A little more fennel. They also grow some really cool sunflower seeds out here. We got some already whole and taken out of the shell, but they've got this nice mix. We're just using roasted sunflower seed from the store for this. But again, try to kind of focus on things that they grow here.
So remind us again of what's in the salad.
The salad has the Radicchio and the Belgian Endive right now.
Okay.
And then we're going to go apples, fennel. I did take a little bit of the green fennel frond, which is this right here, the tops of the fennel. Chop that up roughly, just throw it in there for a bit of color.
Radicchio. Wow. I have lettuce. That's my salad. Salad in my house is lettuce, not radicchio. What is radicchio?
So radicchio is a chicory lettuce. It's both of these are really bitter kind of cousins of cabbage.
Okay.
This dressing works really well because it's thick, it's creamy. It's also got that nice acid bit, so it's going to cut through some of that bitterness.
Got it.
They're a really hard green to just do like a simple vinaigrette or something with because you want to cut through a lot of that bite of them.
Sure.
But they're really hardy. They are wintertime greens, so they're available right now year-round, always pretty fresh, and really have some great, flavor notes to them.
You a big radicchio fan?
Never had it.
Yeah, me either.
Great on pizza.
Great on pizza.
Yeah, you let it cook down a little bit in the oven and just kind of wilt.
That actually sounds pretty good. I got to tell you, I'm getting hungry because smelling the salad dressing is phenomenal.
Excellent. We're on the right path then.
You can't smell anything. You have your mask on.
Here, take a whiff of that. You smell that? Oh man, that smells good.
Perfect. And just a quick little chop on these nice apples here. And we will do the same with about a half a head of fennel. Again, I'll just take that woody core out by quartering it.
Yep.
Just giving it a nice little chop. You can see kind of the triangular little piece of core there. We'll go a little smaller on this than we did for the chicken dish. When you're eating fennel raw, it's a pretty fibrous green, really licoricey if you guys haven't had the flavor. But cutting it pretty thin for, for eating raw is probably the way to go. It's a little toothsome on its own if you don't.
I like the term licoricey.
Licoricey.
Yeah, very cool.
I might have just made that up.
I think it's a sticker. I think we keep it. Licoricey. So did you guys help build the yurt?
I did, yeah.
And how many yurts have you built in your lifetime?
One.
That's what I'm thinking. You got me beat. I have 0. I've never actually built a yurt. I still think it's a cool sounding word. How long did it take you to build your first yurt, you guys?
It took them a little bit for like the base, but when we were putting up the walls and the roof and stuff, it took us like 2.5 days.
So when David walks up to you and goes, "Hey dude, I got this great idea. I want you to go out in the woods and build me a yurt." What's your first reaction at that particular moment?
I was pretty excited.
Were you?
Yeah.
I would have just been scared because, David in the woods alone is pretty frightening.
Have we done overnighters in the yurt?
Hurt.
Is that a thing?
Awesome. So was it fun?
Yeah, it was a fun time, yeah.
Cool.
All right. So, rest and salad. We've got a little pecorino cheese that Nadine was nice enough to grate up for me. Use at your discretion, but we'll let that kind of really mix in with that dressing there. We've got some fresh sunflower seeds.
And are those from Hutton?
These are not, because we wanted to get some that were
Oh,
clear
those
roasted
are
ahead
over
of
there.
time, but we've got
Yep.
that nice blend over there from
Got
Hutton.
it. Got it. Okay.
And we're just going to go all out on dressing here.
Sweet. Here we go.
I'm going to go with about 4 ounces in here. That was for 3 heads of endive and a head of radicchio. Start with a little less than you think you might need. You can always put in more, but you really do want a good coating on this. Again, these aren't like a soft lettuce where they're really going to wilt with too much dressing.
Yeah.
It's really going to kind of absorb and kind of cut through some of that bitterness on here.
I have personally always found I want my radicchio heavily coated. It's just me,
Yeah.
but that's kind of how I like to roll.
To each their own, right?
Sure.
Perfect.
Now, do you use some of this stuff in your restaurant for your tacos too?
We actually do, yeah. We
Yeah.
kind of get crazy out there. Right now we have a wintergreen salad in there with radicchio on it.
Yeah.
So we have some more than just tacos. We've got some small plates and things that we get to play.
What's your restaurant name?
It's called Cochinito, which
What does that
in
mean?
slang in Mexico, it kind of means like little piggy. It's what my wife calls me when I'm in trouble. We just thought it was kind of a cute name. And we do a lot of, kind of twists on classical Mexican dishes. So
Yeah.
there's still a lot of my background, which is fine dining, French, Mediterranean type of food. A lot of the guys in my kitchen come from different backgrounds. We've got people who've cooked Asian stuff through their whole career, people who've done French food, Spanish food. So it's kind of fun to get everybody's heads together and see how we can translate that to sort of a twisted.
I think that's the
Mexican
best part of
cuisine.
cooking is watching the world come together like that, where you've got people from all over the world with different influences that come together and mix things you'd never think would work well together, and then boom, they just explode in your mouth.
Yeah, we try and keep it like, classical in a sense. We don't want to take that cuisine and completely change it and,
Yep.
really riff on it too hard, but fold some stuff in that's either locally grown, locally produced, or that has, a background that makes sense with the flavors in the dish. So
Sure.
it's kind of fun. It's always a good fine line. All right, well, salad is there. We'll plate that up, I think, kind of when we plate the chicken and do a little, finish up this thing.
Now, are you guys both in the culinary classes here at Hutton?
We don't have any at the moment, but
You're going to start though. When you do, will you guys be all over that?
definitely.
Yeah, that'd be fun, huh? What do you think, Sully? You want to learn how to cook like Travis back here?
I don't know.
No?
I don't know.
How about you just fix animals and then hire Travis to come cook dinner for you? That
Yeah.
seems like a good idea.
We could do that.
Right on. Right on.
All right, we're very nearly there on the chicken, so
Cool.
I'm going to check on potatoes, see if they're softening up.
Totally forgot about the potatoes this whole time.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of time on them. So I think we've got just a touch of time to kill while everything's sort of coming together here.
All right. What? What you know what we should do is do all the dishes.
Yeah.
In the restaurant, we always say clean as you go, which is
Clean as you go.
No.
Nah.
No.
not
How about
too
you
sure
clean
how-
the dishes?
Yeah. They never told you when you signed up for this you had to clean. You just thought you got to cook and eat.
No. I knew I was gonna have to clean.
Oh, okay. There you go.
right.
So how do you guys split up chores here at Hutton? Tell us about living here day to day. How's that work?
Daily basis is we wake up around 7 since we have school.
Yep.
And then on Mondays, like for school, we don't have any like classes besides advisory. And then on Tuesdays, we have first period through third, and then Wednesdays, 4th through 5th. And when we come home from school, usually it's just like hang out, snack time. And then around 4:30, 5-ish, it's when we have dinner. And then like the middle schoolers go to bed at 9:30, and then the high schoolers in our cottage go to bed at around 10.
10. He's a freshman, so you get to stay up till 10 now, right?
We go to bed at like 10:30. Sometimes
10:30.
10 depends on our house.
Very good. Very good. And are you going to school now, or are you doing school here?
We have to do school here.
Yeah, I know, it's tough, isn't it?
I'd rather go to school
I would too.
because then I can see my favorite teacher.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. And being in high school and having to do it virtual, has that been, or are you going to school
We're virtual.
virtual? Is it hard?
Not really. It's boring.
Yeah. I'm supposed to be politically correct and say, no, school's not boring. No. I get it. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's not, though. Sometimes you get a class that's pretty cool and you get a great teacher. And
I think all my classes are great.
do ya?
Yeah.
And a girl. Do a lot of animal science. What grade are you in? Did you say?
I'm in 7th.
7th?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. And high school virtual is a little bit tougher. But being here where you've got a family at Hutton and you can kind of bounce ideas off each other or get help with homework, that's got to help out a little bit.
Stall.
Yeah? Cool. Cool. And you guys all eat dinner together as a cottage?
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. Is that fun?
Most of the time.
So does everybody have good manners?
No.
How often does the full-on food fight break out?
Oh,
It actually hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
Just the word yet.
yeah. Well, in these new kitchens, you better not. They're beautiful.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, they're
true.
really nice.
I feel bad making the mess I'm making in here tonight.
It's fine, we'll clean it up.
Nobody's narking you out, Travis, even though they can't see all the food on the floor that keeps knocking off
Yeah.
when you scoop it into the bowl.
That was
I
Stella.
would
I'm
never
sorry,
say
dude.
that.
What? You're the one who spilled it on me.
Twice.
Yeah.
Twice.
Twice.
Yeah. Hazards of the job, you know?
That's how it works.
All right. Let's check potatoes
Oh,
again
sorry,
here.
bud.
Yeah, I'm work at your restaurant.
All right, so you snuck the bread in when I wasn't
Snuck
looking.
the bread
so we cut the loaf and just stuck it in there right
Yep,
next to the
just
potato.
a little bit of toasted bread. It can
Sure.
go in the toaster oven, go in the oven, whatever. But I really like it to just kind of sop up sauce on this guy.
Yeah, did you put any Radicchio on that?
I
Just
didn't,
curious.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. No? All right.
She might have snuck some in when I wasn't looking, though.
Wanted to say Radicchio again.
It's a
My
good
word
word,
of
isn't
the
it? So we can pull these chicken thighs out. Now it's decision time, whether you want to be healthy or not. If you're trying to cut the calories and the fats, we can just go with this sauce as is. I like to add a little knock of butter at the end, though, just to bring it together.
Nice.
Anytime you're kind of folding butter in at the end of a cooking process, you want to kind of turn the heat off. Don't let it totally break in there, but rather kind of let it get in a little slowly. And
So I'm
fully
gonna
absorb.
ask the setup question. Why do you want your butter to melt slowly versus just all at once?
just so it doesn't break and end up being like an oil slick on the top. You want it
Got
to
it.
become part of the sauce and
Got it.
emulsify. So at the same time, I'm going to put in a little more lemon zest and juice. That's how the pros do it.
Yeah, he's going quick, man. You got a little rhythm to that too. Sort of
I like to play a
hip-hop
little song
backbeat
while I'm
going
doing
on.
it in my head,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So the juice and zest of one lemon to kind of finish her out there.
Cool. I'm getting hungry. This looks pretty good.
And then I've got some fresh parsley leaves. I'm going to leave a few in there for a nice garnish on top, with the rest going in for flavor.
Cool.
And we'll just kind of fold that butter in at the very end there. So those tomatoes kind of broken down into a nice little sauce on there. I think we're
Man, that smells good.
looking pretty good to go. All right, and I'm going to put this hot pan
Careful,
right
that's hot.
on these up. I'll give these a little the fennel leaf just for fun.
So Travis, when you're working in a restaurant and you got all these meals going at once, I mean, you got all these different orders you got to fill. I mean, are people just running all over the place? It get a little chaotic back there?
Yeah, you start to learn how to kind of read each other's nonverbal cues and not bump into each other or burn each other or cause too much chaos. But
I'm guessing you learned the hard way at least a few times, though.
Yeah, we've all gone through the burnt forearms a few times in the career for sure. But it takes a lot of communication. It's like I find myself at the grocery store walking behind people saying, behind or corner.
Right. I was just
giving those same
totally
warnings that have just been beaten into my brain over the years of doing this.
That's interesting you said that. I was literally watching the show Chopped last night, and that's one of the chefs was running behind somebody. She's yelling out, behind, behind.
It's so hard to break the habit of doing.
Yeah, I totally get it. Every industry has its own little lingo or way to maneuver around the office. So maybe you guys could start that at Hutton, Chud. When you're going to a meeting and somebody's in your hallway, you just yell out behind, and if they get in your way, you just run them over. It's just part of the gig.
It's the one warning, and if they don't hear you,
I mean, it's not your fault. You can just take them out.
Do whatever you want.
Sure. These are old buildings. They got seriously hard wood here, so it's going to hurt. So they'll learn. They'll do it once, they'll never do it again.
One little hockey check, and you're all done. All right, so plate up, getting a good little bit of that sauce on there, kind of serving over the potatoes.
One of those olives. This person got ripped off olives. Oh, got it. That's all right.
There's always more in the pot.
Boy, there's always there's something in there. Look at that.
Beautiful.
Holy cow.
We'll take that nice toasty bread with a bit of butter.
I'm looking. We're getting pointed at.
Fennel, we need to move it.
Fennel. Got it. Thank you.
Can't see the finished product.
Yeah. TV producers are telling us what to do. It's almost like they want the people at home to actually see how this is supposed to look.
The mystery food.
Yeah.
Nice
Now, I'm thinking, just because I know if I were at home cooking this, I'm just going to be perfectly honest with you, my plate is not going to look a thing like that. It's not going to look nearly this pretty. So just tell me, yes, it's important it looks pretty, but it's going to taste the same anyway.
Taste is way more important, especially at home, yeah. But
so if you're at home and you're looking at your plate and going, it doesn't look like this. Mine looks like an explosion. That's okay. Grab a knife and a fork and go.
Grab a fork, it's all going to eat the same in the end.
Attaboy.
The trick is make sure that chicken's cooked through, use a thermometer, make sure it gets to up to 165 or more. Or like I said, just take your tongs, peel it open, and make sure there's fully cooked nice white meat in there.
Awesome.
The salad, we just topped off with a little more fresh apples, some more of those sunflower seeds for crunch.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got all kinds of extra sauce and things on the plate. We find ourselves with this dish just going back for another bowl of sauce and bread at the end of it, because that's it. Any leftovers on this, let them sit in that sauce until they cool. Anytime you're braising something down, letting it cool in the liquid that you cooked it in is going to make it a lot more tender the next day. It won't dry out on you. So with this one, I always do a bunch extra, let them cool in the sauce, and leave them in the fridge for the week.
I mean, in all seriousness, I bet if you let that sit overnight, it's going to taste even better the next day.
Usually does, yeah. I mean, at the restaurant when we're braising things, which is a lot of what we do because we're making carnitas and braised short ribs and things like that, we're typically doing them a day ahead just for that reason, to let them really fully absorb that flavor as they cool. So.
That's awesome. That looks terrific. We brought Nadine so she could eat. So I mean, that's her role.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
No. Go ahead.
Okay, so with home cooks, what are the mistakes that you think home cooks make the most, or what advice would you give for someone that's just starting out?
I think tasting your food's the biggest thing. I mean, salt goes, a mile one way or the other. Too much is obviously terrible. Not enough can completely change a dish. So just tasting things as you eat, and remembering when you're following a recipe like this one, it's not, see that it takes a tablespoon of salt and add that all at once, but through every stage and every time you're doing things, just sort of adjust as you go, keep spoons around and taste. With us being on film, masked on and things like that, it's a little hard to really demonstrate that right now. But at home in my kitchen, there's always a good little stack of tasting spoons to kind of keep going. Salt's super important, also acid. I mean, balancing things out with things like lemon juice, vinegar, wine, things like that. I mean, secondary to salt, acid in a dish is the one thing that your flavor perception picks up on the hardest. So.
And then with the chicken, a very versatile dish, and you put great flavor in it. It sounds like you go with the skin side down, and then not over fill the pan, make sure you don't overcrowd it, and then
Yep.
what other tips with chicken or when you're doing any kind of meat?
Really depends on the cut that you have, but really not overcooking things that can't be overcooked. So leaner proteins like chicken breast or a nice steak, things like that, not going too far over. Picking the right meat for what you're doing. If you're braising something, picking something that's a little tougher, has some connective tissue, has some intermuscular fat. So there's a reason you don't braise a filet mignon and you use a short rib, because they can handle that cooking for a long time. They break down, they become better. Where if we did the same thing with the chicken breast and went too far, regardless of it cooking in that sauce, it would eat dry. So really following the recipe guidelines of what kind of meat you're using, I think, is really important. Getting a nice sear on things like we did that. You mentioned not overcrowding the pan, but getting a nice brown on there. The flavor of things changes so much when you get a little bit of caramelization on there that adds a lot to your finished product.
Awesome. What questions do you have? Any questions for the chef?
I don't think so. I love what you said about putting, watching your spices and your acid. I was talking to a different chef who said one of the mistakes most Americans make is they don't season their food enough.
Yeah.
That they just kind of stick with the basics and don't put enough flavoring in there. So I love that. And it sounds like you're a pretty mellow chef in this regard. Cook it to taste.
Yeah.
If somebody likes a lot of salt, put a little extra salt in. If you don't really need it, just back off.
Yeah,
right?
especially, at home when you're not cooking for a captive audience, really just
Sure.
tasting as you go and adjusting to your palate and your crowd's palate is so important. Like you said about salt, even in sweet dishes, they require just that little bit of salt to kind of take that flavor over the edge.
Huh.
We always have people kind of try that, like, a blueberry with just the tiniest pinch of nice salt, and really seeing how it doesn't make it salty, it just makes that blueberry flavor really pop. It's kind of funny what it does to all the other flavors on your tongue.
That's interesting.
What are you laughing at?
Stella, what's funny about that?
Salted blueberry?
She kept making contact with me, so it's making me laugh.
That's making me laugh.
Yeah. So in the background, okay. And then on your menu at the restaurant, what's one of your favorites right now?
Cool. Right now, and it's about the most non-traditional Mexican taco we have on there is a lamb merguez taco. So it's a North African lamb sausage, kind of spicy, has some piquillo chili, some garlic, some oregano, and the actual ground lamb. We do a hazelnut salsa macha. So macha is a pretty classical Mexican salsa with peanuts and arbol chilies. We kind of made it Northwest with the hazelnut instead of the peanuts. It's got this nice sweet kind of tomato chutney with a bit of ginger in it, house-made queso fresco cheese, and a little bit of asparagus on there. So totally off the wall, not at all real Mexican food, but definitely the staff favorite. It's one I've put on every year and kind of taken off for the winter and gone with something more like braised. And they wouldn't let me take it off this year, so I think it's now a permanent fixture.
Might be there to stay.
Yeah, we just rolled into the winter menu because the season changed pretty abruptly on us, and I'm pretty happy with how everything came out for being forced into that rather quickly.
Yeah.
We use fresh tomatoes all during the summertime. We write our menu around those things being available, and then like a light switch, that stuff was kind of gone this year. So we adjusted on the fly and came up with some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, you did.
So if you were to make a taco, what would be the special ingredient?
Carrots.
Carrots.
Yeah. She's a carrot fan.
What about for you?
Probably some type of meat. Probably like a really nice cut.
Awesome.
I like
You're
it.
gonna have.
I like the meat idea.
Yeah.
Might go with some pancetta or something like that and mix it in
The
there.
vegetarian ones work really well there
Yeah,
too.
there you
One of
go.
our best is a mushroom taco. We do a fried maitake mushroom taco that people just love, and it was kind of my throw on, like, man, I need a vegetarian option. Let's come up with something quick. And again, it's one of those that we're probably stuck with forever because it's got such a loyal fan base. So we're hitting that 3-year stride of like everything on there has got like a little group of people that really love it. It's getting harder and harder to change everything. So
Yeah.
I always got to bum somebody out to keep being creative.
It's
But
actually a pretty good sign, right? When you have too many good things
Yeah.
on your menu,
Could be
you
worse.
can't get
Could
rid
be
of them.
worse.
That's a sign of a pretty good restaurant, Travis. Good deal. All right. Now what?
I guess somebody eats this.
That's what I was waiting for. Let's go.
We need more plates.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So for those of you, I just want to say again, if you didn't get the recipe and you want to download it, all you have to do, you don't have to write it down as we were going. You just go to huttonsettlement.org, find the braised chicken recipe there, and you can just download it, print it, and keep it in your kitchen because this looks terrific. And then also while you're there, one last suggestion that if you're going to look at Hutton Settlement as a place you want to invest in, we would love to work with you, and I know Chud and David would love to follow up with you. So if you like what you've seen today, and these two rugrats that are, well, you're bigger than I am, so we'll just stop there. And I would just love to say thank you for supporting Hutton, and feel free to click on the giving tab on huttonsettlement.org.
All right. Well, Chef Travis, Mr. Spokane and Mrs. Spokane, thank you for the work and the commentary. I think I want to introduce somebody else. I think the hardest job, besides being maybe Gordon Ramsay's assistant chef, might be the daughter-in-law of Mark Patrick. And so I'm going to introduce, this is another teammate of ours, is Alyssa Patrick. She is one of our youth development coordinators. She's out here to help us test, because we're going to taste test here in just a second. But I want to say thank you to those that tuned in or that watched the video at a later time. It means a lot for us to be able to share our word. Last year we got to do it in real person, and there's nothing better than that, giving hugs and shaking hands and tears and just joy of being together. And it's been hard this year. It's a little lonely, but I will tell you, one of my passions this year has been behind the camera on one of these cameras is my son Jack. And Jack and I have had more fun in the kitchen this year, experimenting, failing, succeeding. And tonight you got to see this. And with Chef Travis here, you never fail. So what we have here, we thank him. But cooking is a wonderful thing because it brings the community together. And it's just a great time to talk, to laugh, and just to eat and enjoy life. So with that, do you want to, can we do a test here?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to have Alyssa, you are the official test taster, so you go for it.
We need utensils.
You're doing this tomorrow night for CJ?
Oh, it's
Oh, I think Mark's earned it, not me.
Should we get a couple more plates? Put the rest of it out? Yeah.
Yeah, let's go for it.
eat it. Yeah.
Okay, we got to hear it. So give this. I mean, no pressure, and don't spill either.
So I did wear a white shirt.
Uh-huh.
Sure. How do we do?
I'm going to put this right in your mouth as you're chewing.
Go.
Okay.
It's really, really good. Thank you.
That was great commentary. All right. Okay.
Somebody
Cello.
Try the salad
good?
too.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to try it.
Oh. Yeah.
You can't tell me you guys are this polite when you eat dinner at Hutton. You just dig in.
Rias, what do you think?
That's really good.
I'm in.
That's really good.
I'm going to be behind. I'm
Come on,
coming
Allie,
behind.
hop in.
I don't want that.
Or Nadine. All right, here we go. See, that's a mess.
And there it goes.
Oh yeah. That's some of the best Radicchio I've ever had.
Well, we thank you for tonight. Once again, Chef Travis, Mark, Nadine, Sella, Rias, thank you for this opportunity to share our kitchen with you and to join us in cooking. And once again, if you want more information about Hutton, go to our website, huttonsettlement.org, and you'll learn a lot about us and most importantly, who we are. So when phase 3 hits, we're excited to get to a point where we can show these cottages off, and that'll be an opportunity, and we know the time will come eventually. So with that said, thank you, and once again, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks, Travis.
Thanks.
Okay, now cameras are off, right? You don't want to